Hi, I'm Mariah, and today I'll be taking you to culinary school where I'll be showing you what a normal day looks like for me. Pastry class edition. So today I was assigned on the plated dessert for the school restaurant, and I'm starting off by making a white chocolate mousse. Then I went ahead and I filled up the molds we were going to use and set those in the freezer. And then Craig here is making an amazing aerated strawberry cream to fill the dessert with. And here he is filling it up and then pouring some more of the mix over the top. And we just let that set in the freezer. We're also adding a sponge base at the bottom. Then we also prepped some banana ice cream, and here it is straight out of the churner. It was absolutely amazing. Then I made some banana caviar using agar-agar. After that I also made some banana gel for the plating. Look how pretty that is. And then we also made a white chocolate dipping glaze with some roasted nipped almonds. And then it was time to start plating. So starting off, we made some spirals for the plating. We had to do this by hand because we did not have an electric turntable, which was really annoying. And here is the finished plating. We also added a cinnamon beignet, which I forgot to mention. And as you can see here, we have the main component, which is the white chocolate mousse filled with strawberry cream, a sponge base, and then dipped in white chocolate, a canal of banana ice cream, and the banana caviar. And then we had Ivan and Liam, who made this absolutely amazing coffee and orange gâteau. And then we had Pasquale and Jacquin, who made this amazing blueberry frangipan tart with aerated vanilla panna cotta and pastry cream. And then for petit fours, we had Martina and Miguel, who made these gorgeous pistachio madeleines, some brandy snaps with dark chocolate ganache, and some dark chocolate bonbons filled with white chocolate and basil ganache. And that is it. That is what a normal day looks like for me as a culinary student. Pastry class edition. I'm Mariah, and today I'll be taking you with me to culinary school and showing you what a normal day looks like for me. I start off the morning with some lectures, and then I went upstairs and got changed into my kitchen uniform because today we are doing restaurant service. I was assigned on a mousse bouche, so I prepared a chocolate and almond biscuit, and after rolling those and baking them, I had some spare time, so I went on the pasta section with Craig and helped him out. He made this amazing chicken filling for the tortellacci, and I just helped him prepare those, and we were having so much fun. Everyone was assigned on their own section, and as soon as you know it, it was already time to start service. So service normally starts at 6:30 p.m. and at that time is when people start to come into the training restaurants, and we get their orders in and start preparing their meals. So for amuse bouche today, we sent out an egg royale with a chocolate and almond biscuit along with a mushroom beignet. For pasta, we had the tortellacci. Our next starter was prawn carpaccio drizzled with herb oil, topped with a herb crusted red snapper, and then served with prawn bisque on the side. After that, we had mains, which were then followed by desserts and petit fours, but honestly, we were so busy that I did not get to film them. And that is what a normal day looks like for me as a culinary student. Hi, I'm Mariah, and today I'll be taking you to culinary school with me, where I'll be showing you what a normal day looks like for me. Pastry class edition. So today we are going to a pastry class where we will be serving desserts to the public at the school's restaurants. For today's menu, I am on the plated dessert along with two other classmates, and I am starting off by making this basil infused cake. And the entire process was so interesting. Like, for example, here I'm making a French meringue and then adding that into the cake mix to add more volume, and it sort of turned out like a really moist sponge, which was really cool. Once the mix was done, I poured it into a mold and popped it into the oven to bake, and here is what it looks like after it's been cooked. Meanwhile, Pasquale is making the lemon sorbet and blueberry gel for the plating. Just look at that. absolutely insane. And then Martina is making a cheesecake sponge, which is quite literally a hybrid between a baked cheesecake and a sponge. It's really interesting. Then while that was baking, I of course had to make some French macarons because I had some extra time. So here I am sifting out the ingredients and just combining everything together. For the color, I chose this pale shade of lilac to go with the berry theme of our plated dessert. And here I am piping them out, and then it was time to bake. Here they are halfway through baking, and there's Ivan and Pasquale in the back for emotional support. Then here I am removing the shells after they've been baked and cooled down. And for my filling, I prepared a raspberry flavored boiled buttercream. And I'm just swirling that on the outside, sort of like a border, like to create a wall to just keep everything in. And then I'm piping a blob of that blueberry gel Pasquale made and just placing the tops on, and voila. Meanwhile, Pasquale is assembling our cheesecake sponge by spreading some of that same buttercream on one layer and then the blueberry gel on another one, and just alternating between the two. And then for the plating, we made an almond crumble, which we also added some broken up pieces of the macaron shells to for a nice pop of color. And since they're both almond based, they just go so well together. Then it was time to start service, and here is what the finished plate looks like. I honestly love how simple it is. And then before we send out the plate, we just place a canal of the sorbet right on that soil there. And in this specific restaurant at school, we do a maximum of 34 covers. And apart from the plated desserts, we also had other options like gâteau, which Craig was in charge of today, which consisted of a white chocolate and lemon mousse. And then for tart, we had an apple tart, and Laura and Ivan were on the bread for today. They made some amazing onion and blue cheese focaccia. And of course, we also had petit fours, which I forgot to take a video of. Oops. And then at around 10 to 11 p.m.-ish, it was time to go home. And that is a day in the life of a culinary student, pastry class edition. Hi, I'm Mariah, and today I'll be taking you with me to culinary school to show you what a day in my life looks like as a culinary student. Kitchen service edition. Today we have a long day ahead of us, starting off at 10 a.m. We are starting off with preparation. For today's meat dish, we have a choice of fish or lamb, and I am on lamb today. I am starting off by preparing the lamb itself, cutting it into this specific shape called a cannon of lamb. Please don't judge my knife skills. I'm a pastry chef, please remember that. And then I pan-seared the lamb, just cooked on the outside to give it a nice golden brown sear, along with some rosemary, and then I set that aside. Using the trimmings of the lamb itself, we made a red wine infused jus to be served alongside with the lamb itself. Here is our head chef for the week, Craig, alongside Luigi, preparing the polenta cakes, and there's Laura, very proud with her brioche. And then on starters, we have Laura and Jacques, who are preparing mushroom tortellini here. There's Ivan. He isn't actually in our class. He just really wanted to be a part of this. And of course, we have more close-ups of the pasta making because I'm obsessed with pasta. Just look at that technique. Wow. There's Craig, our head chef for the week. And of course, more close-up shots of the pasta. And on fish, we have Pasquale, who is preparing the monkfish with some prawn mousse, and then he is rolling it up and he is going to poach it as it is. Meanwhile, I am trimming the ends of the lamb because we decided we're just gonna say, screw it, we're not gonna use the bone, we're gonna use that for something else. And then I am lightly coating the seared lamb with some French mustard, setting that aside while Martina is preparing my herb crust. And then I'm just rolling the pieces of lamb in the herb crust itself and then setting that aside. Just for context, as time passes by for service, this is around 4 or 5 p.m. Of course, we have like an hour break in between. And then using the leftover cut off ends from the lamb, I mixed that with some onions and pork mince, and we made some croquettes. Here I am blending everything together until it's a nice smooth paste, and then I rolled those out, and then we battered them and dipped them in panko breadcrumbs. I also made a pistachio cracker to go with the pasta starter. As you can see here, we cut those up into nice little squares and they looked gorgeous. Here are the finished croquettes. As you can see, we used one of the bones from the lamb to stick those in there. And here we have Ivan, who is plating the other starter. So for that, we have chicken liver pate and chicken liver parfait alongside each other, which was also served with an apple and fig chutney and our herb oil. And once all the preparation was done, it was time to begin service at around 7 p.m. Here I am alongside Craig pre-plating the cold starters, and then once the orders started coming in, we began cooking. For amuse-bouche, we have a huge amuse-bouche actually. We have deep fried octopus tentacles with garlic served with a Provençal compote and basil oil. We tend to change some of the things on the menu, so if you see like a few components missing or a few extra ones, just don't mind that. We're always being creative here. And here is the chicken liver pate served alongside our toasted brioche that Laura made and some sort of liquid, which I completely forgot what it was, but it was really good. And then these are the polenta cakes, which Craig and Luigi made for one of the mains. And here is some pasta action being cooked. And oops, he spilled something. And yeah, that's Jacqueline on the pasta section for today, preparing those during service. And here is our amazing lecturer, Mr. Simon, showing us how to plate the dishes before we send them out. Of course, he lets us be as creative as we want. He's just showing us like ideas we can adapt. He's so great at letting us do what we want creatively. So yeah, for the pasta, we served it with this amazing smoked celeriac puree. And then we have a variety of mushrooms in our sauce, along with the pistachio crackers, some cherry tomato confit, herb oil, and tomato water. And then there's everyone plating the mains. This is the plating we went on. Very simple, very standard. I love pops of color. And honestly, I felt like this could use some more color in my opinion. Of course, we're still learning, but I love how everything turned out. And here is a glimpse of us and what we do during service. I'd like to note that some of us do get sent home before service starts because otherwise we're too many people. And as you can see, we actually are a lot of people here. Everyone just takes turns into plating and helping around. But of course, we're much less during service than we are during preparation. And we're just plating all the orders here and sending everything out. And then we would be ready at around 10:30 p.m. after a full day of work. And there you have it. That is a day in my life as a culinary student. Restaurant Service Edition. Hi, I'm Mariah, and today I'll be taking you with me to culinary school, pastry class edition. Today I was on Petit Fours with Ivan. I started by making a baked chocolate tart, which was absolutely amazing. And then after cutting out the short crust base, I put the filling right on top and I baked it. And here's how it turned out. It was like a really, really dense, fudgy brownie. Then Ivan made these pistachio financiers, and he also made some pistachio white chocolate ganache to go with them. And here's what they look like after they are baked. And here is the finished result. I love this color so much. Next, we really wanted to make some sort of chocolate bonbon infused with orange and chili. I started by peeling an orange and cutting up some chili. Side note, please ignore how big these gloves are on me. I am putting the chili and the orange peels in some cream and I'm going to boil that to let it infuse. And then I'm going to mix in my chocolate for my ganache. Then using the chocolate tempering machine, I made the shells for the bonbons. And after those were set, I am filling them in with the chili chocolate orange ganache. That is a mouthful. Here's how they turned out. Super cute. And here's where things started to take a turn for the worst because I decided to go a little glitter crazy with the gold. And I just decided, fuck it, we're gonna go all gold and cover the entire thing in gold. So I went a little overboard with that, not gonna lie, but they're still pretty cute. And here is the finished Petit Four plate with everything laid out. Honestly, I'm really happy with how they turned out. They tasted amazing and they look great. Here's Laura having her little mouse eating moment. And then for the plated dessert, we had Pasquale, who made a walnut tartlet with anise seed caramel along with a fig compote and coconut ice cream. And then we had Martina and Jacqueline who were on bread. They made focaccia but with a Maltese twist. So we have focaccia with cherry tomatoes, fresh basil, rosemary, and Maltese reina, which are those tiny little chunks you can see there. Some onion infused bread rolls, as well as Maltese fritira. For the gâteau, Craig and Luigi made a raspberry mousse with white chocolate cheesecake, and then it was set on a Breton biscuit and finally glazed, and this is the finished result. And this is when we were setting up the display before the guests started to come in. You can see in the back there we also have a tart which Laura made. It is a sticky nut tart. Apologies for not filming. I barely had enough time to film myself today. But I promise you guys you will see more of everyone and their desserts next week. And there you have it, a day in my life as a culinary student. Hi, I'm Mariah, and today I'll be taking you with me to culinary school, where I'll be showing you what a normal day looks like for me, pastry class edition. Today I am on the gâteau, and I will be preparing an opera tart for the school's restaurant. I was really excited about this one because I had never done it before. I'm starting off by preparing a Joconde sponge, which is an almond-based sponge, and I'm just spreading that out on a baking sheet before popping that into the oven. I needed to work super quick. Here is how it turned out. Meanwhile, Craig and Liam are on the petit fours. Here is Craig preparing these Vienna's biscuits. Meanwhile, Liam was making these gorgeous lemon macarons. And then we had Miguel and Pasquale on bread today. Here's Pasquale making the chocopan. It's sort of similar to how you would make a brioche. And here's Miguel preparing the focaccia and the white bread rolls. And we have, of course, we have some more bread action going on here with the chocopan. Here it is in the molds, and after proving. While all that was going on, I went ahead and prepared a roasted coffee bean syrup and made my flavoring for the buttercream. So I'm zesting 2 oranges, adding in a shot of Grand Marnier liqueur, and cutting open 1 vanilla pot, and this is going to be our flavoring for the buttercream. For our buttercream, I went ahead and made an Italian meringue based buttercream, which in my opinion is much more stable than a regular buttercream. On the plated dessert, we have Laura and Martina making a lot of components, one of which was this pistachio tartlet. And then once all of my components were done, it was time to start assembling the gâteau itself. I'm placing a layer of sponge at the bottom and soaking it in that coffee syrup, and then piping a layer of the orange buttercream on top, adding another layer of sponge, soaking that of course, and then some of this dark chocolate and coffee ganache, and then just alternating between those layers until I get the desired result. And once that was done, we glazed the entire thing and cut it up. I also prepared some chocolate garnish to go on top, as you can see here. And then here's Cray again making some milk chocolate bonbons filled with this amazing caramel. And here's me trying one, they were so good. And here is the finished petit four board for tonight. Here is the bread once it was cooked straight from the oven. Look at that gorgeous brown color. And here are the bread rolls infused with bacon and onion. And here is a look at the opera tart. Not bad for first try. Could be better, of course. I'm always critical of my work. And here it is, all finished, ready to go out. Then for the tart, we had Ivan who prepared this French almond tart with an apple flavored jelly. And then for the plated dessert, we had a strawberry and white chocolate panna cotta with the pistachio tartlet served with a canal of raspberry sorbet. And then it was time for service. And there you have it, a day in my life as a culinary student.